Okay, hello and a very warm welcome to everyone. My name is Laura and I'm very, very excited to kick off this Women Ambition webinar series with you today. And our guest today is Georgie Ann, who's gonna guide us through this next hour. And Georgie Ann is a serial entrepreneur and a strategy expert. Among her core skills are productivity solutions, project management, and growth hacking, product development, marketing, and branding. She's also the author of the book, The Art of Getting Shit Done, and hosts a podcast that's called Misadventures of Entrepreneurship, a very interesting topic, I have to say. If that would not be enough, she's also a wife and a mom of two. And today she's going to show us tools to automate your business. And I'm so excited to hear what you have to tell us for the next hour. So without further ado, I would just hand over the virtual microphone, so to say, to you. And very warm welcome to this, Georgie Ann.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm really excited to be here with Women with Ambition because I think you guys are doing such a great thing and great work in the community to just get more women entrepreneurs to get more opportunities and grow and learn about their businesses. So, definitely don't want to go too much more. That was a great introduction. Thank you so much. And so today I'm going to be talking about 5 tools to help automate your business. And I know Women with Ambition are kind of like everywhere, all over the world. Since these tools are all tech and online, most of these companies are based in the US, some of them are based abroad, but because that's the scope that I know, but definitely in your different regions and countries, there's probably other services that kind of do the same thing. So definitely research them after that. But without further ado, we're just going to jump right into the presentation.
Perfect. We can't wait. Sounds very exciting.
Thank you. Alrighty. So 5 tools to automate your business. And as she mentioned before, my name is Georgie Ann McCoy. You can find me on all social media at GSD with Georgie. My favorite social media is definitely Instagram. So that's where I hang out the most if you guys want to shoot me a message there. So I'm an execution strategist, and what that means is that I help people look at their resources as well as their goals of what they want to accomplish to figure out a plan to then execute on those goals. Because a lot of times people feel, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have money, I don't have time, I don't have energy, I don't have resources. But there is something that you could do starting today, starting right now within and for your business or for your personal life. So I help people figure out that roadmap to using what they have right now to get where they're trying to go. And so, I've done a bunch of in-person events. I've shifted a lot of my content and materials to online. So this is over like the last 4 to 5 years, just really engaging and connecting with communities to help them figure out ways to strategize and build for their businesses. And I got that experience through going through my own entrepreneurial journey, right? So a lot of the things that I teach right now is just based on, well, it is 99% based on my personal experiences. I read a lot. I go to a lot of events. I go to a lot of workshops. And through those experiences, I started creating content around what was missing or how I use these resources a lot of times that were free or open access to create a path for myself in the entrepreneurial world and in the ecosystem, because you don't always have, again, that money or time or energy, but you can mix and match resources to execute and get whatever you need to get done. And that's what we're going to be talking about today when we focus on the topic of automation.
Fantastic. I just have to say a couple of very interesting book recommendations you have there on the previous slide.
Yeah. So I'll shout out some of the book. I definitely love You're a Badass. This book in the bottom left corner, Get Shit Done. It's like a little book full of quotes, and it's a similar name to my own personal book, The Happiness of Pursuit. So I am a very avid reader currently right now, right even before this webinar. What I was reading is Made to Stick, and I'm here taking notes. These are awesome books, and you should always be reading and learning because there's tips inside of these books, or again, limit low cost resources that could revolve and change your entire business.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So yeah, automation, right? When you think of automation, what I want you to think of is letting the technology do the work for you. So we already mentioned that your resources such as time, money, and energy might be limited already. So how can you execute on your plans effectively? So not just executing just because you want to get stuff done, but effectively. And one way to do that is using technology to automate some of those tasks. So I'm going to go over 5 different platforms and tools that you can use to automate some of those tasks for you. And all of these platforms I use in my everyday to get my business going and to get my clients' businesses working, because there's just only one of me and there's so many things that have to get done.
And I think that's a very typical situation, right? Because we're so many of us, we're solopreneurs, so we can really do with some help from tools. Yeah.
100%. This is the best thing for solopreneurs,
Yeah.
especially solopreneurs that are women. I feel like women are already tasked with so many responsibilities,
Yeah.
Because of socioeconomic reasons and then society and just all this different pressure. So
Yeah.
having some of these tools to kind of make you feel not as stressed and not as overwhelmed is going to make, a lot of things in your life better.
Definitely.
So the first tool is HootSuite. You probably might be familiar with this, or you might even know some people that are using it. There's various platforms. There's HootSuite, Buffer, Planoly. There's various platforms, but my favorite and the one that I use is called HootSuite, and it's for social media posts and engagement. So we all have a bajillion social medias, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok. There's so many different social media platforms that we could be involved in. And imagine, or maybe you're already doing this, how much time does it take to plan out your posts and then go in that account every single day, each account one at a time, and post that same specific post? Some platforms allow you to cross share, but the quality of cross sharing isn't always the best. If you cross share from Instagram to Twitter, the image is gone. It's just like a link back to Instagram. If you cross share from Twitter to LinkedIn, again, it just doesn't have the same vibe because each platform has its own unique format. And so what using HootSuite does is allows you to plan out your content. And then once you've planned it, schedule all the content to automatically post on all of the social medias on your behalf. So you're not going into 7 accounts each day, posting 3 to 4 posts. The technology is doing it for you. And I kid you not, I've gotten hours back of my time. So the way I usually do this is at the beginning or the end. So around like the 28th to like the 2nd of each month, that end part, I start figuring out, okay, what do I want to talk about for the next 3 months? And I've actually done this in 3-month bundles. So what do I want to talk about? What are my deals? What are my sales? What are my marketing strategies for the next 2 to 3 months? What do I want to highlight? So then I write down all the things that I want to share with my audience. And from there, I then come up with ways that I'm going to share this thing. So let's do, based on this photograph right here, I was doing my book launch back in January and February of 2019. So I wanted to promote each chapter of the book. And so what I did was write down each chapter. And then I also had these 13 principles of getting shit done. So for each principle, I created a flyer and I wanted it to go out every single day so people would be getting excited. Oh, what's this another principle? What's this other principle? So each post was of each principle. So I knew I needed to create these 13 graphics, 13 captions. And then I just made all these things and then put it into my social media scheduler. So all in all, it took me about I would say about 3 days if you use about 8 hours a day. So 24 hours in total to create all of this content, whether from the idea to the graphics to the wording that went with the graphics, the captions, and the links that are associated with this. And then I just schedule it onto my social media. And now I have that free time and every day to just go into my social media and I'll see people interacting with the post versus me having to post one by one and remembering, oh, it's 11:59. I didn't post that post for today. So I also was able to select the time that each post would go up on social media. So now, again, I have that time back and I just have to go into my account. If people are engaging, comment back or like it. Or there's also a little tool on HootSuite that allows you to see the inbox. I don't know if you're looking at the screen, but right above that little airplane at the left, there's like a little inbox kind of button, and you could see all of your inboxes and respond to all of the messages.
Oh, wow.
So if somebody comments or likes, you could like or comment right back there. And this is cross-platform. So you see Twitter, Instagram, not HootSuite, YouTube. So all the different platforms, you don't have to leave this tool. Everything is in one place instead of having 7 tabs open on your computer or your phone.
Wonderful.
So
that sounds really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a cost to it though. It's $45 a month. They have various packages. I don't think they have a free trial anymore, but they used to, so you might be able to find it. But to me, $45 to get back so much time and know that I am constantly engaging on social is a steal. Like there's no like brain thought that needs to go into that. And $45 to do this could, if I put my plans correctly and I'm marketing correctly, I'm getting way more than that in sales from people and the engagement that I'm receiving.
Yeah, and it really streamlines the process, right? Because you don't have to check all those platforms. It's all in one platform and you go from there to all the other channels, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So lifesaver.
Yeah.
The second tool is Zapier. So Zapier now is a connector tool. So think of Zapier as a surge protector. So you have your outlet, and then now you have to plug in multiple things. What do you need? Like a surge protector, a huge outlet that has multiple slots, so that way you could connect everything to that one outlet. So Zapier does that with different apps. So there's a lot of websites or software or apps that don't really work with each other. So like I mentioned before, Instagram, when you're trying to share it back on Twitter, it doesn't come out the same way. So Zapier does that for tools like, Stripe and Google Excel, Google Sheets, right? There's no official plugin or tool that connects these things automatically. But what Zapier does is reads the API. So just think of API as the process or the code if you aren't aware what it means. So just think of it that way. And it allows the technology to talk to each other as like, so yeah, think of Zapier as like a translator that allows these different technologies to talk to each other and work to each other to execute an action for you. So you're not having to go into Stripe, then download an Excel, then upload it back in Google Sheets, then clean it up, and then blah, blah, blah. So it kind of breaks that gap, so the computer does the work for you. So when it tells the computer, people have probably seen this as like if this then that. So it's like if this happens, automatically do this, and that, so that way I get it in the end place without me having to go in and make all these one by one transactions or uploads and downloads and cleanups and moving and mess. So it gets crazy real fast. So Zapier, they are constantly creating different plugins and different tools that allow apps and websites and software to work with each other. So even if the features are already created, there's a way for you to suggest a Zap, and then people could upvote it, and the ones that get the most upvoted, then they start working and building, and every day they're releasing new connections.
Oh, wow.
So it's super cool, and you just go to the website, and it's priced on how many Zaps per month you need. And how many apps you need to be connected. So they do have a freemium model, so it does start free. The purpose, the way I use it, it's free right now because I'm not using it a whole bunch. But if you have like 10,000 Zaps a month, it's gonna probably cost a little bit of money. So I really like that. So it matters how much you use it versus just, oh, here's a flat rate. I don't know how many Zaps you're gonna use. So it's very, very useful.
Wow.
Alrighty. So the next tool is Callandleo. I always mispronounce this. And this one is another of my top favorites that I recommend to everybody that I come across because I have a lot of things to do. As was mentioned in my introduction, I have 2 kids, I'm married, my kids are in preschool and elementary school, so there's always things happening, doctor's visits, school trips, things to sign, meetings. Last night we had an open school night. Then I also run a few businesses. So I have my primary business. I run operations for my husband's business. And I have clients that need to be serviced. And I have speaking engagements and talk. It just gets crazy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So how do I know where do I have to be, when I have to be there, and what do I have to do when I'm there? My calendar. And if it's not on my calendar, best believe it does not exist because I will probably not remember it. It's very unlikely that I remember anything that's not on my calendar. And so in order to schedule meetings correctly, because what I was doing for a long time was like tracking my calendar only through my direct phone or through my physical calendar. And so people would double schedule, and because I didn't get to cross-reference it fast enough, I would assume that I was free, and then I'm like, oh no, I forgot that I added this thing, but we didn't add it to the official calendar. So what I do now is everything I need to get scheduled, I send out my Calendly link, and that allows people to book time, and it reflects on my calendar. So since I also have multiple emails, it connects all of those emails into one calendar. So if I have on my personal, like, a doctor's appointment for the kids or for myself, it'll cross-reference and know that, okay, she's really not available at that time because we're taking in all of the company's emails plus her personal plus her family email. So all of them are reflected. So if the time is really not free, it's not going to show it. And I can select what times I'm available for calls. So if I'm, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and then weekends, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., it'll let people know, okay, this is free, this is not free. And this saves me a bunch of time when I would be networking or meeting people, and they want to, oh, let's have a talk. And then we're going back and forth. Oh, is Monday free? Oh, no, I'm busy Monday. What about Friday? Okay, I have something on Friday. What about 11 a.m.? 11 a.m. is not good. And then you're going back and forth. And before you know it, 30 emails later, you finally set a time just to find out, oh, I didn't double check my calendar. So this saves me all that time. I'm like, hey, here's my calendar, whatever works. Oh, see, technology is always being crazy. Whatever works on your calendar, just book it on mine, and then you'll also get an email invite. So not only am I aware of what's going on, the person is aware, we have it all scheduled, we have it all hooked up, no one needs to worry. It automatically connects to my Zoom. So we're using Zoom for this webinar. It connects to my Zoom. So that way it sends them automatic Zoom link. There's a questionnaire that they can fill out. It sends them a calendar invite and reminders. There's no way any of us is going to forget where to be, when to be, or what to be doing. And so this also has a freemium model. If you only have one event, it's 100% free. And then you can set the times that if you have multiple events, I have multiple events because I have different meeting times. You can also hide the event. So somebody that I'm sending a consultation link or a personal mentorship session link, that won't be on like the public page where anybody could come and set a time with me. That'll be on like a private page that I can only send out the link for. Yeah, so that's also a really cool feature. And then that one is, I think, $10 a month if you pay annual, $10 a month if you pay monthly, or $8 if you pay annually. The prices I've been a member for a long time, so the prices might be a little bit more different. And if you want to add like a payment feature, so let's say you're scheduling consultation calls and they are paid consultation calls, you could get the premium. So that's like the highest level. I think it's about $15 a month, $12 if you pay annually. Again, these prices might fluctuated a little bit. It's not a lot more than that. But you could then add a payment link. So people, when they're scheduling the time with you, they also automatically pay for that consultation or event or whatever you guys are doing together. And you can also do it for groups. So you could say, okay, a group of 10 people could book this one time. They all have to pay, and it sends them the link, and they each get personal invites. So you're never like sending out the same link, and then they could come and join it as a group if you're doing like a group consultation or something like that. But again, there are a bunch of features. You can definitely check it out at Callandleo.com to find out more features, but love this tool.
Wow. And for $10 a month, that's really affordable now.
Yeah, so far, if somebody ends up subscribing to the 3 tools that I mentioned so far, they're just at maybe $55 a month, and depending on how many zaps, let's call it $60. But the amount of hours, time, energy, and resources that they get on the back end triples it. Like it'll make sense. And then the tool number 4 is MailChimp. A lot of you might be already familiar with MailChimp, but I definitely wanted to throw it in there because some people aren't familiar with it. And I love this tool as well because it's very useful for folks that are just starting out. They're trying to build their newsletter. It's very user-friendly. I know people use Constant Contact or ConvertKit. Those have like a higher price range, but MailChimp starts free. And I'm mentioning a lot of free tools because I want to tell people, I want people to be able to start using tools when they are free and then level up. All of these tools, I started on the free version. And then it wasn't until I got that traffic, because the tools worked so great, I was getting more traffic, more interactions, more needs for these tools, then it made sense to transition into the premium version. So, again, if money is one of the biggest limits that you have, this is a way to start using the free tools, and then they work so well that it just makes sense to transition into the paid version, and you're getting more than your money's worth, trust me. So MailChimp, again, for newsletters, you could quickly embed it into your website. There's a bunch of API connections if you're using like WordPress or different WordPress builders, or even Weebly or Wix or Squarespace. There's so many different connections and plugins that MailChimp offers to create really beautiful drag and drop style newsletters that engage your audience. So I schedule my newsletters about 2 to 3 months out as well. And then if things happen impromptu, same with my social media, life happens, right? If there's a big announcement or something cool happens or something changes or something not so good happens, I could always go back in and edit or make an update or add another social media post. But now I don't have to worry in case that, I can't do an emergency happens and I can't schedule social media, or I can't schedule newsletters for a week or so because I'm ill, or there's something going on in my life or business, I know my business is still able to run, and I don't really need to be touching it every single minute or worry, oh my God, my community hasn't heard from me in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I know that those things are all scheduled out, and I track my processes all the time. So that way, when I talk about tip number 5 in a moment, if I could pass it on to someone and they can execute on it as well. So
Georgie, I had a quick question, because there's a couple of newsletter tools out there. Why do you specifically recommend MailChimp compared to, for example, ActiveCampaign or all the other tools that are out there?
Yeah, so I don't know. From my personal experience, I just like the UX and the ease of MailChimp. So it's so simple versus a lot of these other platforms that, you know, the setup is a little bit more technical, and a lot of people, you have to watch like a lot of tutorials or ask a lot of questions. From my experience, I've been a member of MailChimp for a while now, so at least like 7 years. And just based on how, when I talk to especially my clients that are less tech savvy, they could come on MailChimp and they get it like that. They don't have to overthink it. Oh, how does this work? What does this do? And they've improved their UX and UI to actually be more user friendly. So I think, from my experience, they're one of the most user-friendly platforms. And again, if you like another service better, but just scheduling newsletters and creating newsletters in advance would be like the main takeaway from here. Oh, sorry, it went backwards.
Totally makes sense. Yeah.
And tool number 5 is outsource. So outsourcing tasks are simple. Outsource tasks that are simple and repetitive, similar to automating, but with outsourcing, humans are doing the work. So you want to think of it as outsourcing are for humans to do the work. Automation is for technology to do the work. And outsourcing helps you also automate parts of your business. So an outsourcing tool could be, hiring a virtual assistant, a voiceover specialist. So just hiring someone to do some of the work that, again, is repetitive, easy to do. And from all the work that I do, I track my processes. It's step 1, step 2, step 3. So if somebody, again, anything can happen. It could be a good opportunity that somebody books me for like a tour or something, or it could be something negative. I fall on ill times or family. I could then say, here's everything that I need you to do. You could do it just like this. If you find ways to do it more effectively, let me know, and we could do that as well. I'm open to your suggestion. And so Fiverr.com is one of the platforms that I get my outsourcers. There's also Upwork, Freelancer. There's a HubSpot. There's a Hubstaff. There's a bunch of tools out there to get freelancers. But again, I'm talking about tools if you're just in the beginning, you don't have a whole lot of income to just spend willy-nilly. Fiverr is a good spot to go where people are good quality and not a whole lot of money to pay for the services that you might need initially. So some stuff like SEO, formatting of books, like if you're a writer, having somebody edit your book, social media manager, someone creating headlines for your blog. So these are some of the services. As you can see, it's called Fiverr because they start at about $5, and it can increase based on how much of the service you need. You'll see the star rating of the person that's doing the service, how many reviews they have. So you could definitely read reviews. A lot of these services are pretty good. I use Fiverr all the time. I actually sent something out to Fiverr just today, and it's not because I can't do it. So I'll just give a background. So I have a conference coming up, and the speaker images, I needed the backgrounds to be removed out of all the speaker images, and it's about 40 images. I could sit down and go to Photoshop because I know how to do Photoshop and remove the backgrounds of these images. But for $10, I could get all 40 images removed, backgrounds removed, and sent back to me tomorrow. How much time did that save me versus doing it one by one on my own computer? So that is another way. Again, outsourcing $10 versus 5 hours or 4 hours, whatever. I could make a lot more and I could do a lot more. And with freeing up that time, I could, I could be here talking to you guys on this webinar, answering client calls, scheduling meetings, doing all these other more impactful or income generating things versus like removing backgrounds. And I could get somebody else to do that. That's not a me necessary task.
Yeah, Georgiana, it's quite obvious why you recommend outsourcing, not because it just really saves you time and gives you time to work on the core of your business. However, I know that a lot of solopreneurs, in particular when you're in the early stage of being an entrepreneur, you struggle a bit with outsourcing. You feel like you have to do it all by yourself and like don't really want to give things away. Do you have any tips for our community, like, I don't know, mind hacks or something, how to outsource more easier? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned this. I'm actually working on like a little one-pager questionnaire to help people do this. So once that's done, I'm more than happy to send it to the community. It's going to be like a free thing that I offer on my website. But what I used to do the same thing. I used to be like, oh, it needs to have my personal touch. It needs to be from me. People need to know, I put my love, heart, and soul in it. Yeah. Yes and no. Not everything needs, your personal touch, and you're still going to be able to touch it at the end side. You have to think about it as these bigger companies, right? You have the entrepreneur, the founder, sometimes doesn't even touch or build or see the product until it's completely finished. So you have to start operating on that kind of mindset and level of where you want to be. And also just really, once you have it on paper, it's easier to calculate. So what I did when I started outsourcing was made a list of what are the things that I need to get done. So I made that list. And then after I made that list, I had another column. Why do I need to do this thing? Then I answered the question for each thing. It was a little tedious, but it helped me see clearly, like, whoa, I really don't need to be working on that. So then the third column said, can someone else do this? And it was just like simple yes or no. And then I read each line, and I started looking up how much would it cost to get somebody else to do this thing. And then seeing for myself, like, this didn't need my personal touch. It's just something that needed to be done. So think of it as your doctor or your dentist. You can brush your own teeth, but you're going to go to the dentist just to save you that time. You're not going to go get a whole dental degree and figure it all out. It's the same thing. And you have to weigh the pros and the cons. That time and energy that you'll get back to then invest it more properly to increase your income or increase your reach or increase your audience engagement is definitely worth it. And you can weigh it. Okay, 4 hours, like we go back to my same task. 4 hours is going to take me to remove the backgrounds from Photoshop, maybe a little less, maybe a little less, versus $10 is going to take somebody else to do that. And I looked at my hourly rate when I do consulting or do any type of work. It's between $50 to $70 an hour based on the task. $50 to $70 an hour for 4 hours, $10. When you see it clearly like that, when you break it down, it's like, no brainer, $10. Just get it done. So I'm definitely working on that worksheet because a lot of people ask that, and a lot of people are scared. I'm like, you should not be working on this thing. Like, you need to have somebody else do it. It doesn't need your special touch. So save that special touch for the stuff that really, really need it. But it's always high quality.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and so to just recap, tool number 1, HootSuite, getting your social media all scheduled and automated. Zapier, connecting different software apps and platforms that aren't currently connected, so that way they work together, so that it saves you time and energy. Callandleo, so that way you know when you really are free and able to schedule meetings and can show up and have interactions. MailChimp, so you can reach your audience, scheduling your newsletters. And then outsourcing, so that way you could get back your sanity and time and invest your time and energy in places that you truly need to be and doing tasks that you truly need to be doing. So,
do you have a favorite of all of these? Sorry for interrupting.
Favorite.
So if we was have, like, I just want to focus on one thing to start with, what would you recommend? It depends obviously on the business needs, but what is your favorite?
I would definitely say Calendly is my favorite, because again, my schedule gets packed so fast that if I'm, again, going back and forth, that email stuff, going back and forth, and I meet a lot of people through my work. And so just last week, just handing out my Calendly link, I was able to schedule 7 meetings between consultations and, execution strategy sessions. And I went to, and this is not like a normal week. So I went to a few conferences and events, and imagine, I think I have the business cards right here. Like, I don't mind showing you guys. So this is like 20 business cards, 30 business cards, and trying to email and coordinate back and forth the time to talk with each of these people. I just put it into a stack. So, like, look at that. it would have been crazy. So Callandleo, I'm just like, hey,
it
we'd love
certainly
to
should
chat.
do with
Here's the
it.
link.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Okay.
And then second, I would say like HootSuite, just to get the social media out of the way.
Yeah, it sounds very, very useful. Yeah.
And so just in the end, automation tools. These days, many things can be automated, from email responses to Facebook communications using chatbots. So these are, I guess, 2 more tips. So with my email, I use Streak, and you can get it on streak.com, and it works specifically with Gmail. I don't know if they've enhanced to use anything else. So if you have a Gmail or a G Suite, so if you're using Google as the host for your, your name at your website.com kind of website, if you have Gmail, though, you're good. That G Suite, you're good. And what it does is it allows me to schedule emails. And I know Gmail recently added this feature where you could like write the email at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then have it sent out at 8 a.m. the next day, which was initially a lifesaver when I had Street, because I would work at night a lot. And then if I didn't send the email immediately, I would forget to send it the next day, and then before I know it, this draft email has been in my draft box for like 3 days, and it was supposed to send the day before. Because I'm working at night, I just keep on remembering at night. And then now when I had Streak, I could say, okay, I could write this email at 2 a.m., but let's schedule it to send it at 8 a.m. because no other creeps are up. I'm just the only one being weird. I'm writing this email at like 3 a.m. So that helped a lot. And like for clients in different time zones, because I work a lot digitally. So there's that I'm communicating with in like Hong Kong, and that's a whole 12 hours ahead. So it got even crazier when I did like different time zones. So I'm just like, okay, what is your time zone? Let me match it up. Let me send it at your morning or your afternoon time versus like, again, this weird time in the day. And so that and it also, what does it do? Yeah, so it also allows you to just be more responsive with the flow of the time that you need to schedule things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't wait, automate.
Yeah. And I think that's such a good message from your presentation, is that you don't necessarily have to be the complete tech nerd and really understand all like the very sophisticated technology. It's really simple tools you introduce to us, right? So everyone can basically use it. Yes,
100%. Anyone can use these tools. They're very user-friendly, very easy to learn, and there's a bunch of tutorials. And some, again, they have freemium models, so you could start playing around with it for free.
Great.
Yeah, so that is
perfect.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all of the presentation. Again, you guys can reach out to me at GSD with Georgie on all social media, and my website is gsdwithgeorgie.com. And I'm really excited to share with you like the outsourcing document ones. You get all when I finish it. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Fantastic, Georgie. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Before we finish this call, just quickly, maybe just let us know, or the community know, what is the next big thing you're working on? Because you do so many things. There's a book out there, there's a podcast out there. So what is the next big thing that's coming up?
Yeah, so right now is the 4th annual Get Shit Done Summit. So every year I've done a Get Shit Done Summit. The last year it was online, and this year we're doing it online again. Oh, wow. And we have some really great tech features, such as this online networking platform that we have partnered with to do like a networking session. And I think it's gonna be a big game changer. We have a lot of speakers from, again, all over the world. So the Get Shit Done Summit happening November 16th, and you can find out more about it at getshitdone.xyz. But that is like the next big thing, and I'm super excited for it.
We're certainly gonna share that. Yeah. And how can our community support you most? Is there anything specifically we can do to support you besides following you on all your social media channels?
Yeah, just if you know anyone that's looking for a speaker. So I'm really trying to get this book more exposure. So either purchasing a copy for yourself, family, friends, holidays are coming up. Definitely trying to just get more exposure for the book is like one of my main things. So speaking engagements around the book, sales around the book, coming into companies, talking about it. I have like a whole workshop and presentation. So more opportunities like that is definitely what I'm looking for right now. Perfect.
And that's the art of getting shit done, right?
Yes, the art of getting shit done.
Perfect. Where can people get it?
They could simply go to artofgsd.com. So artofgsd.com, and it'll bring you to the page to purchase the copy.
Fantastic. We're going to link that as well. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Georgie, anything else you want to share with us?
Just keep working and pursuing your dreams. There's different ways that you can execute. Don't feel like, you know, I don't have any time, I don't have enough resources, I don't have money. There's something that you can do right now to get the ball rolling or to increase the awareness about your business and your company. Just, you have to be willing to kind of look for that alternate way, right? And that just starts with saying, okay, what do I need to get done and what do I have, and figuring out, okay, how can I make this work for me and to catapult me into the better opportunities.
Wow, thank you so much for wonderful closing words. Absolutely.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, Jajan, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing all your wisdom with us. And I'm sure that one of the other members going to reach out to you, and we're certainly going to stay in touch as well. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Talk soon. Cheers. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.